Yes, I said we may be seated. Thank you very much. I'll ask the Secretary, welcome back to everybody as we continue with the business of the agenda of the House today. Can we read the next item on the agenda?
Tabling of vote number 7, cooperative governance and traditional affairs.
Can I call upon the Honorable Embassy of COGTA to present the policy speech? Your 30 minutes starts now, Honorable Embassy.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Chief Whip, Honorable Premier, and members of the Executive, members of the Legislature, and all the distinguished guests in the gallery, the people of our province, in all the social media platforms. Please receive our greetings this afternoon as we present this budget policy speech on behalf of our department for 2025-26 financial year. This policy speech underscores our commitment to improving governance and service delivery to the people of our province who are located in all the 39 municipalities. Looking ahead, our department plans to transition from policy frameworks to tangible service delivery. And the lessons we have learned in 2024-25 will serve as a foundation for more effective, accountable, and responsive government. And we intend to ensure collaboration across political and social spectrum to strengthen and resolve, to ensure that we provide better services and better governance between our department and the local sphere. The core goal for this financial year is to build on the progress we've made in 2024-25, particularly in local government revitalization, capacity building, service delivery, and community engagement. Our objectives are informed by the commitments in the medium-term development plan, aiming to meet the people's needs and aspirations. Our department is poised for a year of action, where plans will be executed efficiently to deliver tangible outcomes. Our key focus will include strengthening governance structures, enhancing community participation, and ensuring that service delivery is not just promised, but actually realized. Despite the challenges ahead, we are able to see opportunities, and we are prepared to work together with our municipalities and traditional leaders and all other stakeholders to ensure that we create stronger and resilient working relationships to ensure that future generations benefit from our cooperation. On building a capable and ethical state, we intend to ensure that local municipalities and traditional leaders are empowered, and this approach will ensure municipalities are better equipped with skills resources, and support needed to deliver essential services effectively. Ethical governance and accountability will be at the forefront, ensuring that funds are used efficiently and corruption is rooted out. A developmental approach will guide the department's policies to foster sustainable growth, job creation, and social cohesion. And we are committed to empower traditional leaders to ensure their active participation in governance and community development as key part of our strategy. Moving forward with inclusivity, responsiveness, and service excellence, which will remain central to the department's mission to build a prosperous and united province for all our citizens. The 25-26 financial year represents the first chapter of our commitment to advance the priorities outlined in the National Development Framework. At the heart of achieving the goals of the MTDP is the drive to eradicate poverty, reduce inequality, and address unemployment, particularly considering the province's rural character. The department recognizes that the national fiscus continues to face pressures, requiring it to do more with fewer resources. And in response, we are committed to greater efficiency, financial discipline, and tracking our budgets very closely. Our goal is to achieve at least 98% of our monthly and quarterly projections to ensure our full utilization of the annual budget. In terms of financial oversight, we will continue to track the effectiveness of our internal controls by conducting internal audits and ensuring that action plans from the Auditor General are being implemented. And this will promote clean administration and help maintain the department's positive audit outcomes. We're committed to ensuring that 100% submission of financial disclosures by our staff is implemented and no non-compliance will be tolerated. Additionally, lifestyle audits will be conducted to reinforce the ethical culture in our department. In putting people first, our role is to serve the people. And with the upcoming local government elections in mind, as the elections are approaching, there has been increased public frustration, particularly evident in 2021 local government and the 2024 national elections, where communities voiced their concerns through service delivery protests, and the department is committed to ensure that we enhance the support to municipalities to ensure effective and minimization of protest by delivering services of quality to our communities. A provincial task team has been established comprising various stakeholders to oversee the performance of municipalities in terms of service delivery. And the challenges that we're facing in municipalities relate to instability in administration, unethical practices, weak revenue strategies, poor project planning, and weak supply chain management processes. To respond to the aforementioned, our department has convened the first municipal revenue Mhlaba, whose sole objective was to find solutions to the potential revenue collection challenges facing municipalities. From this Mhlaba, we emerged with a useful plan that will be implemented in the current financial year. Addressing these issues requires cooperative governance, where municipalities, other government departments, traditional leadership institutions, stakeholders work together to ensure that our municipalities are able to collect revenue, and we encourage the people to pay for services. In our attempt to be responsive to community issues, we embarked on a series of outreach programs to address critical service delivery challenges across municipalities in the province. We're in Matatiele in December 2024, meeting with communities from all 27 wards around Matatiele. And they have informed us of concerns about service delivery, lack of access to clean water, road infrastructure, including bridges. And all 27 wards were meeting in one place to engage on these matters. During the outreach, we encountered distressing cases of elderly people who were unable to access government services due to issues of identification, a lack of IDs, and working with relevant departments, we were able to intervene and resolve the plights of those people. We also engaged on concerns regarding working relationship between traditional leaders and local government, ensuring that structures work in harmony for the benefit of communities. We also visited, through public participation, in Nguza Hill for 2 days, 13th and 14th of March, and we committed ourselves to ensure that issues raised about access to water, roads that are littered with potholes, shortages of medical supplies in clinics, inadequate police visibility, increasing crime levels, and the lack of high mass lighting. All those issues have been referred to relevant departments in cooperative governance to ensure that we attend to those issues that affect our communities across the whole of government. We visited also Kariega in Nelson Mandela at Gqeberha. And after visiting, we engaged with communities who were affected by disasters, and they raised their frustrations, citing delayed responses from municipalities. And since the election of the new mayor, the executive mayor, we're able to attend to some of those major challenges of disaster management. And whilst we acknowledge the challenge of the bridge, we have put systems in place to ensure that supply chain is fast-tracked in order to construct the bridge after the appointment of a suitable service provider. Madam Speaker, or Honorable Chair, regarding demarcation, the Demarcation Board is busy with ward delimitation and public consultations and awareness programs to ensure maximum community participation. Our department has contributed in the bill that has to do with demarcation and the reconstitution of all the wards that need to be reconstituted, with the public taking active part in ensuring that the ward delimitation process is finalized with clear consultation. We have reconstituted traditional councils, and now what is left, Honorable Chair, is an induction program of all those that have been elected in those reconstituted traditional councils. A budget allocation for induction of those, about 1 million rand, has been set aside. In partnership with the Office of the Premier, we will ensure the facilitation of the functioning of the King's Council, which has since been established by the President. And an amount of 6 million has been set aside for the functioning of local houses especially as it relates to customary male initiation. Traditional leadership infrastructure projects are a priority, with the department working to renovate and construct those traditional councils, offices, and renovate King's Palaces. We will undertake major renovations at Nyandeni Palace, eKamata, eBumbana, eMnqesha Great Places. Additional work will also be done to eDabi, Amagasela, iMidushane, Amantinde, Amahleke, Amazibula, and Amahlubi traditional councils. And a budget of 7.2 million has been set aside for that. Honorable Chair, on addressing gender-based violence in rural areas, we support traditional leaders' efforts to mobilize communities and work with various stakeholders to bring a stop to these heinous crimes. Additionally, we remain focused on safe practice of customary male initiation, with efforts to reduce deaths and injuries. The department plans to improve regulatory oversight, practitioner training, and community awareness on safety and health of our young men, and medical support and adherence to safety protocols. In restoring the dignity and stature of our traditional leaders, we remain focused in ensuring that they are capacitated consistently, and this financial year, about 15 bursaries have been awarded to pursue studies in public management and law to enhance traditional leadership skills with their statutory roles. Departmental efforts towards the development of capacity of traditional leaders will see some graduating, about 20 graduating in the 2025-26 financial year, and this number is intended to increase. We have also allocated tools of trade. 2024-25 financial year, we provide which is Integrated National Electrification Program. And we have achieved, as at the mid of the financial year for local government, we have achieved previously 58% and 64% respectively. The department aims to expand and strengthen the RAS program in 2024-25 by introducing new standard operating procedures to improve the efficiency and accountability of municipal service delivery. Today, Honorable Chair, we are unveiling this book, and we have requested all members of the legislature to be provided with a copy of this booklet. This booklet contains standard operating procedures for all our municipalities in the Eastern Cape. And it is a product of our departmental staff. We wrote the standards ourselves without any consultant helping us. And the MEC himself has written standards here. What is going to be happening is that this is a dynamic document which will be, as it is implemented, if we find that there are challenges, we amend and we make it suitable until we make the local government sphere function properly and effectively. And what is going to follow is the training of municipalities on implementation of rules. If you talk potholes, we're indicating how to fix potholes. When it appears, how soon must you attend to it? If you talk refuse removal, if there's refuse, how must you communicate with communities to keep refuse inside their yards if the truck is not going to be available? All those things are codified in this booklet. If there's anything we would want to say in this budget policy speech, is us unleashing this document, which must be done and looked into this. I am pleased, Honorable Chair, that all 36 municipalities, through the RAS intervention, we are now focusing. If you look at the stand of the Portfolio Committee on Public Accounts, is beginning to look at infrastructure, work in progress in Buffalo City and OR Tambo, coming to other municipalities. Our focus this financial year is now that municipalities are spending, we're now changing focus to say, what is the value for money? What is value created on site? And we're allocating about 1.2 million for that visit to each municipality to check their performance in terms of grant expenditure. And then 2 million, Treasury is helping us to have a system, the IDMS system, which we're going to use to ensure that we monitor the entire value chain.
Honorable MEC, you are left with 7 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Chair of Chairs. On disaster management, the Premier has always complained that he follows other critical NGOs that support us in disaster management. This financial year, we're purchasing 2 vehicles, 2 trucks. One will be the one that will be bringing food items, mattresses, and all the necessities for disaster-stricken families. The second vehicle will be focusing on snow. 3 areas of our province are always affected economically by snow. Barkley Pass, Penhoek Pass, and the area of Graafrenet. So we are buying a vehicle that is going to ensure that the economy is working whilst there is snow, That vehicle is going to clean the snow so that the economy of our province continues. Progress is as far as 20 years back as outlined by the Auditor General. So what we're doing is to getting closer to the situation, to whoever is paid, what is that person paid for? And that's where we are going with this. On the 18th of May, we will be on the second round looking at the audit action plan and the implementation thereof, and any of the officials who fails the system must face the door. As part of improving significant focus has been placed on improving intergovernmental relations and implementation of the district development model. The province has approved a framework to strengthen the IGR system, and local and provincial governments have signed the implementation protocol in joint initiatives such as disaster response and risk management. The IGR framework was incorporated into the provincial medium-term development plan, fostering greater collaboration. The department is committed to supporting the rollout of the IGR framework, monitoring the implementation of the associated agreements, and strengthening local IGR systems. A budget of 800,000 has been allocated for these efforts, with focus on facilitating collaboration among various government entities. In line with the district development model, the department has worked to legitimize and institutionalize the DDM model through local workshops and coordination of the implementation process across all districts and metros. The department is focused on developing the second generation one plans and supporting key projects with catalytic effects to drive development in the province, and a further allocation has been made this far. And I think, Honorable Knutse, now the IGR Framework Act is now including DDM. This is a question that you have been engaging us on, and we have ensured that that instrument is included so that DDM is not flowing. Instead, it's part of the IGR framework. Our budget for this financial year on Program 1, an allocation of 281 million, local governance 326, development and planning 139, traditional institutional management 382, the House of Traditional Leaders 35 million, and the total estimates is 1.1 billion. In conclusion, our department is committed to sustainable governance, to enhancing service delivery and inclusive development in our province. I appreciate the solid leadership provided by the acting head of department and the entire management in building a solid organization that can respond to the challenges we face. Swiftly and with military precision, the contribution of the Cocta family cannot go unnoticed. I hereby, Honorable Chair of Chairs, present the the policy speech, the annual performance plan, and the operational plan of our department. And I parcel you with the SOPs as the legislature. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of Chairs.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable MSc. All documents tabled, including the policies, all the document tabled, including the policy speech, stands referred to the Portfolio Committee on Cocta. I will ask the Secretary to read the 7th item of the day. Thank you very much.
Tabling of budget vote number 8, agriculture.
I will call upon the MSc responsible, Honorable MSc Consiwe, to table the policy speech and all other documents. Thank you very much. Your 30 minutes, Honorable MSc, starts now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs. Good afternoon to you, the Premier, the members of the Executive Council, the honorable members of this House. I greet you all this afternoon. Ndibulise ne guests zethu, kakumbi amafama bethu, abantu abasebenza umhlaba molweni. Honorable your Chair of Chairs, as we start the 7th administration, we are mindful that the period from 2025 to 2030 marks the final phase of the province's commitments to supporting the goals of the Provincial Development Plan, that is Vision 2030, which is a dynamic and interconnected province where all residents can achieve their full potential. The 7th administration has embraced the medium-term development plan with a focus on 3 key priorities, which is inclusive growth and job creation. Secondly, reducing poverty and tackling high cost of living. And thirdly, building a capable, ethical, and developmental state. In its provincial medium term, the province identified 5 outcome areas. Honorable Chair of Chairs, to place emphasis on agriculture as the mainstay of the province's program of action, a proclamation was issued in terms of Section 7, subsection 5, and 7, subsection 6 of the Public Service Act of 1994, Proclamation 103 of 1994, as amended. The department is now officially the Department of Agriculture. Siphume kulaa nto kaDr. Da. It is no longer the Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform. Ndiyayiqonda abanye bathi kumandi uthi Dr. Da. I am making a plea. Siphumile kulaa nto. Ze nithi Department of Agriculture phaqa. Chair of Chairs, into eyenza singalali buthongo buhlayo ebusuku sileli candelo kokuzingisa kokungakhuseleki okumandla kokutya kweliphondo. The high cost of living and unemployment are major drivers to household food insecurity, which leads to child malnutrition, as reported by the report of the South African Human Rights Commission. This report shows that 20% of the households in the province are severely food insecure. The districts affected by severe food insecurity are as follows: Amatole, it's 24%, Sarabatman, 24%, Alfred Nzo, 23%, Nelson Mandela, 20%, Buffalo City Metro, 19%, OR Tambo, 17%, and Krisani, 17%, and Joe Gabi is also 15%. The study conducted by the University of Fort Hare revealed that 61% of the households in the province are consuming diet of low diversity. That is carbohydrates rich, but less in protein. Therefore, We should intensify efforts to help rural communities to produce and increase access to affordable and nutritious food. On that note, a provincial food and nutrition security plan has been developed to galvanize all sectors of society to work collectively to harness community resources in addressing food security. Chair of Chairs, the high cost of living and particularly unaffordable cost of food is driven by low levels of food production. This is unfortunate because the National Food and Nutrition Security Survey reveals that the province has a higher number of households that have access to land at about 67%, while only 37% of that into produce. Our provincial food and nutrition security plan seeks to increase food production through community-led partnerships, which in turn will lead to lower cost of food, thereby making it affordable to vulnerable groups and unemployment, especially youth, pensioners, and social grant recipients. Local production of the variety of agricultural produce is very critical, and it will enable people to access food products locally and save on transport costs, which contributes to high value of cost of living. In 24-25 financial years, we initiated partnership with the National Department to support about 30,000 vulnerable households with the production packs of Ilima, Litsima, and an additional 12,000 households were supported through the Presidential Employment Program. Ukuhlangabezana ke nengxaki yokunqaba kwamanzi, isebe lincedisana nabahlali ukukhusela imithombo yamanzi, eye iphinde isetyenziswe ukunkcenkceshela izityalo okanye izitiya zethu. To this end, the department completed 10 spring water projects in 5 districts. Alfonso 2, Amatole 2, Krisani 2, Jokabi 2, and Owar Tambo 2. During the same period, a total of 234 taps were installed in 10 villages, benefiting more than 1,000 households and increasing 496 jobs. Our commitment as the sector, therefore, is to improve the livelihoods of the rural communities through the provisioning of safe, clean drinking water and food production remains steadfast. In the upcoming financial year, we plan to develop 6 natural springs across the province, with 1 in each district: Alfonso, Krisani, Jokabi, Owar Tambo, and 2 in Amatole. Additionally, we'll undertake the rehabilitation of the windmills, especially in Mahalangazana village in Inokejima. Chair of Chairs, during this term, we have committed to developing and establishing local food hubs, where government will support massive cultivation of land, targeting high potential arable areas, such as irrigated lands. The community food production scheme has been initiated to support communities in putting their land into production and a required scale, enabling them to store, process, package, and sell the surplus produce. A model like this exists and demonstrated by Lupau Lukum Agri, founded by Mr. Bakusele Matupa, based in a very small town, Kukatyana, Deputy Chair of Chairs. He initiated a food forest that produces fruit, vegetable, herbs to provide households with access to fresh and healthy food. This helps to combat food insecurity through collaborative approaches and a shared commitment to work the land and increase sustaining the food systems. We would like to encourage communities to adopt this initiative and innovative approach to improve food security in the province. Mawethu sihlabi khwelo ke masibuyele nembo senzeni ilima silime igadi na nezitiya kwilali nedoluphana esihlala kuzo ngokubambisana. Simema bonke abantu abafuna ukuthatha inxaxheba kweli phulo lokuvuselela imveliso yokutya ngelima. Ngokwesintu akukho mntu omakafe yindlala bekhona abantu ekuhlaleni. Mhlaba sinawo, sonke siyayazi ba lo mhlaba wakhuselwa ngexesha lemfazwe zengcinezelo. Ngoko ke kumele siwusebenzise. We will anchor our food production scheme on broad-based partnerships with communities that will aggregate a minimum of approximately 20 to 100 gardens within 5-kilometer radius to put under production through Ilima community food production. So asifuni bantu bazakonqena apha make sisebenzeni umhlaba. This program is targeting to increase production of food at a community level, focusing on grain, vegetable, poultry, piggery, beekeeping, etc. The department will provide mechanization, production inputs, equipment, and infrastructure such as irrigation schemes. Yeah, Koban. The department will provide mechanization, production inputs, equipment, and infrastructure such as irrigation schemes, nurseries, storage facilities to support this intervention comprehensively. And the success of this initiative will require mutually beneficial partnerships, shared responsibility, and minimum contribution by all participants, and a strong commitment from communities. Ngoba ke ngelishwa ngeke sikwazi uyolima ngokwethu. Funeka sicenga nabahlali sonke sisebenze umhlaba. The success of this in the year 25-26 financial year, the department has allocated a budget of 60 million to implement this program. So ndiyafuna kuba sonke masiroleni is leaves. Sikwazi ukusebenza lo msebenzi ubaluleke kangaka. Chair of Chairs, whilst commercial sector has been more sustainable, agile and resilient over time, this may be short-lived until we better integrate smallholders into mainstream value chains to strengthen sector contribution to agricultural growth and employment. As the department, we are emphasizing on the issue of integrating the smallholder farmers into commercial value chains. The focus is to increase this participation into these farmers so that they grow. It is not right all the time they are always regarded as emerging farmers, upcoming farmers. At some point, they need to grow, graduate, and become commercial farmers. It is at this point that I want to reiterate our call to commercial sector to come forward and continue to partner with government and smallholder farmers so that we promote inclusive growth. We are already working with Agri-Eastern Cape through the CEO, Mr. Brent McNamara, who also serves in the Premier's Investment Council, which promotes the investment in the sector. We must appreciate the commitment shown by our commercial farmers in supporting the smallholder farmers through mentorship in a drive to transform this sector. This has been demonstrated by a number of farmers, especially Mr. Kruger, who's late now, who mentored Mr. Mhlonishwa from being a communal farmer to being a commercial farmer. Chair of Chairs, as we roll out these programs, it is important to acknowledge the many farmers across the province who continue to excel and demonstrate that transformation, resilience, and productivity are possible in our diverse farming landscape. Ukusuka kubavelisi nabafuyi abasaqalayo ukuya kwabo abasele bekwinqanaba loshishino oluphezulu, ukuzinikezela kwenu kusenza sizince ngani kwaye nize nihlale ninje ngesikhokelo nakwabanye. We salute these farmers who continue to form backbone of the inclusive growth. Into ezifana no Sihle Maseko zilapha Premier, the youngest farmer of all farmers of this province, who is continuing to make the produce at the level you export ngo. Ukhona pha phezulu. Sihle ukhona? Yeah. In his SOPA, the Premier directed the department to commercialize 100 farms and 10,000 hectares of irrigated land that will be optimized to ensure increased production of locally produced food through agro-processing and value addition. Our plan is as follows. In 2024-25 financial year, we have completed agricultural technical assessment of these 100 farms, which comprised of 27 citrus, 3 deciduous, 31 grain, 33 livestock, and more hair. These farms will be positioned to aggregate commodity-specific produce within their own and surrounding areas. The prerequisite of these farms in the commercialization is just the training and mentorship. For this year, 25-26 financial year, the department will strengthen the current production in the 100 farms and improve business compliance, because that's the only challenge that these smallholder farmers are having, the compliance to business. Furthermore, these farms will be provided with infrastructure, equipment, and access to markets throughout this term. For the current financial year, in partnership with ECRDA, our entity, ECDC, the department has set aside 20 million blended finance schemes to assist these farmers. ECRDA is envisioned as a key driver in transforming subsistence agriculture into commercially viable enterprise. These prioritized farms will also be targeted by the worth of 200 million blended finance co-funding with the Land Bank, which will be based on approval of projects and front-loading. The department will then engage the Department of Provincial Treasury, Chair of Chairs, as the province who have capacity to produce 10,000 hectares of irrigable land. However, we are currently experiencing community conflicts, insecure land tenure, and dilapidated infrastructure. To get this going back to production, we need to overcome these challenges by working together with farmers, communities, community leaders, traditional authorities, and other government departments. To address community conflicts, we are then going to introduce an irrigation regulatory framework, which will bring stability, provide certainty on the land use rights. DALRAT has been specifically tasked to decisively deal with the land issue of the land tenure issues. This is a matter that is receiving an attention through the Office of the Minister. Chair of Chairs, we have approached the Infrastructure South Africa and the World Bank Group to help us secure development funding for the schemes and help the smallholder farmers. These institutions are currently refining our business plan, which is meant to be submitted to the budget facility infrastructure to address the infrastructure backlogs in the irrigation schemes in the province. It is worth noting that province spends approximately 34 billion on social grants annually, 44% of which is on food, which presents an opportunity for the province to expand its local food production. The key food items include the staple ones: rice, vegetable, potatoes, cabbage, spinach, etc. Our program then is geared to increase localized production, agro-processing of vegetables, fruit, maize, dry beans, oilseeds, red meat, dairy, poultry products to create food products that will significantly reduce the cost of food and enable more people to have access on affordable, nutritious food. Therefore, this initiative presents an opportunity for the province to take advantage of the significant portion of the 12 billion spent on food to be circulated within the province, which will stimulate the local economic and create employment opportunities. Ulima kwethu imali azizuhamba ke siwele imilambo namalwandle zizawuphelela apha ephondweni. Chair of Chairs, as pronounced by the Premier, we want grain to be processed to samp, meal, animal feed. We want milk to be processed to dairy products. Our entity, ECRDA, is tasked with spearheading the localization of food production through aggregation initiative. This includes aggregating produce from local farmers and processing it into food products that meet both local consumption needs and export standards. By leveraging modernized industrial parks, special economic zones, KUHA, etc., this is envisaged to be the driver of government procurement of agricultural products, which will be implemented through the partnership with this department, ECRDA, Treasury, ECDC, and DDAT. Our main objective is to ensure that schools, hospitals, correctional facilities, red hubs, and other public institutions are supplied by local farmers. ECRDA aims to enhance value addition in key commodities like grain, dairy, poultry, horticultural products. We are currently assisting farmers in aggregating their production to meet volume requirements. The success of these initiatives depends on building strong partnerships between government entities, private sector stakeholders, and rural communities. ECRDA will then collaborate closely with farmer organizations, traditional leaders, municipalities, and other important stakeholders to ensure inclusive participation in agricultural development programs. Additionally, mentorship programs led by the department and commercial farmers will be expanded to integrate smallholder farmers into mainstream value chains. Chair of Chairs, grain production in the province is a vital source of food and feed for both human and animals. Over the past 5 years, the province supported the aggregation of communal land parcels into commercially viable units to increase maize production with a view of processing food such as milli, semp, etc., and animal feed through red hubs. Therefore, the entity ECRDA is currently repurposing the red hubs to transform them into food processing facilities. In 24-25 period, the department successfully planted 22,000 hectares of maize with an expected yield of 112,000 tons of grain. We supported them by fencing 9 projects with 20 kilometers fence. For the 25-26 financial year, the department has allocated 70 million to support grain production on 23,000 hectares in the grain corridors. That is Krisani, Joe Kabi, Alfred Nzo, Amatole, and OR Tambo. The ECRDA will also drive commercialization of grain and fodder production with a total blended finance budget of 32 million. Our grain production is also supported through infrastructure, and for this financial year, 10.2 million has been allocated to 20-kilometer fencing of 2,000-ton grain silos and 3 storage sheds. The Chair of Chairs, in this financial year, that is the past financial year 24-25, the department supported beef farmers through genetic improvement programs with a total of 49 bulls. 230 heifers, and furthermore, the province initiated a livestock identification traceability system. Noko abantu bathi xa bebelwe imfuyo yabo ikwazi ukutraceka. Ngaphandle kwaba ke bonqenayo uzongena kule system. Taking a total number of
Honorable Mhlaba.
35,000.
You are left with 8 minutes.
8.
8, yes.
Okay, maniqaqanisa. In the 25-26 financial year, the department has allocated a budget of 6.8 million to support black farmers, enhancing their genetic material. We'll collaborate with the Ntinga Development Agency to develop a plan to refurbish the Umzikantu abattoir. We are positioning this abattoir to slaughter and process cattle fed in 13 custom feeding centers for the local market. These custom feedlots have been allocated 5.6 million. Chair of Chairs, we are known as the province to be the province that is producing the best beef throughout the world, and therefore we must showcase that indeed we are producing the best beef. For the 24-25 financial year, we initiated the establishment of Ngqushwa Beef Complex, which will be implemented in phases. In the previous financial year, we completed the construction of 5 animal handling facilities 6 deep tank renovations, 4 deep tanks, financing 5 projects. Chair of Chairs, enye yengxaki esijongene nazo bubusela bemfuyo. Ngumngeni osixakileyo kangangokuba asisafuna ukuthi si-stock theft, but we are saying it's a stock robbery ngoba zithathwa ngenkani. In this year, we have set aside 3.2 million for the installation of 48 CCTV cameras, complementing the existing 828 CCTV cameras operated by Agri Eastern Cape. We'll be working with Agri Eastern Cape and other interested partners to implement our stock theft prevention program. Vet school, mnoko mayipheli ixesha sendiyithethile le. As the department, the Eastern Cape government, through this department and the University of Fort Hare, are focusing on their combined efforts to establish a vet school in the University of Fort Hare. As part of our intention, I have met the Vice Chancellor, Professor Buhlung, and his team to strategize on our funnel trust programs, issuing official letter by the Department of Higher Education and Training, granting permission for this establishment of the vet faculty at the University of Fort Hare. Asinawuthi sinemfuyo engaka ebalelwa ngamanani amakhulu singabi na vet school in the province. Hayi ndiyala. Mandiyeke foot and mouth, we managed it. Niyayazi foot and mouth. And yaziyeka is uthethile chair of chairs. On the vegetable chain, Chair of Chairs, in the 24-25 financial year, the vegetable producers received assistance in acquiring the necessary infrastructure to qualify for good agricultural practices certification. As a result, a total of 9 GAP certifications were awarded to farmers throughout the province. On horticulture, on horticulture, our exports are mainly driven by our competitive horticulture value chain, particularly the citrus, deciduous fruit, which contribute to 22.7% of the sector. On the pineapples, mandithethe nje ukuba siyawavuselela wonke la masima amapayina bethuna, especially the ngqushwa one. Avukile. I do want to say in the 25-26 financial year, the department will complete the last phase of the freshwater aquaculture demonstration facility in Doni. Remember, that institution is the institute of our research. Si rely upake ngobuchwepheshe. Ndithethe nangale Medigrow has provided opportunities to 26 hemp permit holders that were supported by the department. Ndiyafuna ke uba lentsango siyohlule kuba amampondo athi hayi ayiyo le yawo intsango sawuthi uyibona ilinywa kwezinye indawo. There's a difference kwi seed le imbewu yayo. So le sithetha ngayo intsango ile yenza i-dashboard zemoto eniziqhubayo. That is going to be processed into medicinal issues. Nisalibele kuxabana nina. Oh, let me touch on this issue of Amagwa before ndihlale phansi uba uzandisusa ngoku chair of chairs. On the issue of Magwa, as the department, we have met with the stakeholders in the area. The only issue that we are still resolving is the land tenure issue. And again, for government to put money there when there are these disputes, it's not easy. So until that land tenure issue is resolved,
Honorable Mr. You are left with 2 minutes. I will advise you to conclude and table. Thank you.
Ndibulele amalungu eParliament ngokuthi gqolo esenza umsebenzi we-oversight kuthi. I do want to announce in this August House that the Honorable Premier has appointed the HOD for the department for the benefit of the portfolio committee members. Sinaye ngoku HOD. We are no longer having an acting HOD. Mr. Bongikaya Diamond has been appointed as the HOD of this department. Ibulela ke bonke abantu abathatha inxaxheba, particularly the farmers, because we can preach our work, we can have money, but we are not working the land as the department. But the farmers are hitting the call. And inkosi kakhulu ngokubani created the jobs that you have created and worked the land that has fought for so many years. Nanathi masuwusebenzise. Bulele nakuwe ke Chair of Chairs. Indlu yonke ndiyayitheblisha ke qala apha i-policy speech. Policy speech 25-26. I-strategic plan document 2030. Annual operational plan 25-26. Annual performance plan 25-26. ECR day performance plan. Entity yethu. 25-26 and strat plan for 2025 to 2030. I hereby table the documents before this house. Thank you very much. Diabulela kakhulu. Imvula.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable MSc. The policy speech and all the table documents stand referred to the Portfolio Committee of Agriculture in terms of Rules 160 Sub-Rule 2. Before I ask the Secretary to read the 8th order of the day, I will let me announce to the House that today we are pleased to celebrate the birthday of Honorable Vena Uhlathi. Ukhule ungakhokho behlathi. Happy birthday to you. And also, honorable members, let me acknowledge the guest of the MEC of Economic Development, Environmental Affairs and Tourism, and it is always pleasing to the House to have the guest and MECs inviting the stakeholders. Can we acknowledge the Sakikamva Senior Secondary School from Beacon Bay in Mpumelelo? Where are you guys? Oh, Nabaya Sakikamva. And also in Kwanja High School from Queenstown. Oh, now, yeah. Welcome to the house. And the St. John's College from Tata. Oh, Nanga, thank you. Itzingane High School from Mhlaba. Now, what was Itzingane? Ichoselelani High School from Mhlaba. Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate, Honorable MEC, that you come to this house to present your policy speech, but you are accompanied by the stakeholders or by the relevant people in your department. I will therefore ask the Secretary to read the 8th order of the day.
Tabling of vote number 9, Economic Development, Environmental Affairs and Tourism.
Thank you very much. I'll call upon the MSc to table the report.
Hey, Timek. Good afternoon, Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Honorable Premier, MECs, the members of this august house, HODs that are here, DG, CEOs of the entities and the board members, captains of industry, distinguished guests, abantwana besikolo abakhoyo apha, manene nani manene kazi damesen yere khuyemera molweni. As I stand before this august house to present the 2025-2026 policy and budget speech for the department and its entities for the next 5 years, is the 7th administration, I'm filled with a profound sense of responsibility and optimism as I stand not only to provide a path we must forge together in the betterment of the economy of the Eastern Cape province, but to report on the progress we have made despite global and domestic challenges. We have made significant strides in several key areas. In the words of His Excellency President Ramaphosa, open quotes, we need to create a new economy that is built on the principles of inclusivity, sustainability, and equality. Economic growth that must benefit all South Africans, close quote. That is what we strive to achieve. Chair of Chairs, the department exists to lead the development of an innovative, sustainable, and inclusive Eastern Cape economy. Our mandate focuses on fostering an environment that drives job creation, economic growth, while ensuring the sustainable management of our natural resources. We work with our entities to effectively implement this mandate and maximize its positive socio-economic impact. And as the department, we are fully committed to the PDP, hence it aligns its priorities with the PDP. In addition, our priorities are shaped by the provincial growth frontiers that were mentioned by the Premier: agriculture, manufacturing, oceans economy, digital economy, and tourism. All of our initiatives and programs are strategically designed to advance these core priorities with a strong focus on transforming the economy to ensure that all citizens of the Eastern Cape benefit. The global economy continues to stabilize following the disruption of recent years. While developed economies show modest growth, emerging economies maintain higher growth trajectories. Eastern Cape economic growth is projected at 2.8% for 2025, with expectations of a gradual improvement in the coming years. Our provincial employment rate remains a serious concern, though at 36.6% in Q4 of 2024. It requires decisive intervention from government and all social partners. We are also keenly aware of the impact that global transitions, particularly in the automotive sector, are having on our economy, and we are actively working to mitigate risk while capitalizing on emerging opportunities. Deputy Chair of Chairs, this is the department. Our economic strategy is informed by rigorous sectoral analysis that identifies both challenges and opportunities in our key economic sectors. Over the past year, we have completed comprehensive analysis in some sectors such as automotive manufacturing, sustainable energy, agro-processing, and tourism, yielding valuable insights that now guide our interventions. These reviews have confirmed the critical importance of focusing on sectors with the highest job creation potential and multiplier effects across the economy. As a result, we have refined our approach to focus more intensively on targeted interventions in these high potential sectors while addressing cross-cutting constraints to growth. On sustainable energy, energy security remains fundamental to economic growth. I'm pleased to announce that we have made substantial progress in our sustainable energy sector from the previous policy speech. One wind farm of 69 megawatts has completed construction in 2024 and is feeding to an industrial customer through the national grid. The Eastern Cape now is a home to 18 utility-scale renewable energy facilities at an operational phase that are comprising of 17 wind farms and 1 solar farm. 2 wind farms totaling 224 megawatts are on track to complete construction and feed to the grid in 2025-26 financial year, and another 547 megawatts will be completed in 2026-27. Cumulatively, this amounts to 771 megawatts of wind farms currently under construction in the province, with an investment value exceeding 16.5 billion. In line with, I'm pleased to note that South African Renewable Energy Master Plan was approved by Cabinet in March this year. The plan will ensure that we harness low carbon industrialization opportunities tied to the construction of wind, solar, and battery storage facilities. Through our SEZs, will make the renewable energy master plan meaningful in the Eastern Cape, driving industrial development by building inclusive renewable energy and storage value chains. In line with the strategic imperative, we are supporting both SEZs in their bids to upgrade and optimize their infrastructure for the generation and distribution of renewable energy. And both SEZs have established the special purpose vehicles, and this was you will read in the document. In terms of green hydrogen, in addition to the previously announced Kucha Green Ammonia project, I am pleased to announce that the East London IDZ has also secured investment of 265 million in the green hydrogen sector, which is currently at the EIA phase. These projects, Kucha and IDZ, are now registered as national strategic integrated projects, highlighting the importance of the Eastern Cape SEZ in the national energy transition. As a province, we are committed to fostering a supportive regulatory and investment environment for green hydrogen projects. And we are working with GIZ and the Council for Science and Industrial Research, where we have conducted an awareness workshop on supported training on green hydrogen development, reaching over 180 decision makers and core stakeholders in the province. On automotive industry, the automotive sector continues to be heavily affected by major global challenges because our OEMs are head office in Germany, United States, Japan, and China. And the Russia-Ukraine war has had major disruptions to OEMs in the province. The impact of the new US administration imposition of 30%, as it was mentioned here by the Premier, on South African imports to the US will definitely have an impact on our OEMs exporting to the US and many more other geopolitical challenges. But also we're noting the emergence of China as a major player in the new energy vehicles manufacturing that requires us to rethink our policy approaches on the support we provide the automotive sector. Otherwise, we'll have to close shop. This clearly shows that the next 200 years in the automotive sector here in South Africa, things are going to change and look differently. Following the number of investment announced in the previous year, we're pleased to announce that there has been a further pledge of 200 million by FAW towards their planned expansion, which includes the development of the platform where they will produce 8,000 trucks from 5,000 to 8,000 and also train people from 2,000 to 5,000. 8 months ago, I made an undertaking in this house to have all 13 electric vehicle charging stations established across the province by the end of March. Honorable Chair of Chairs, it gives me great pleasure to announce to the House that through our entity, we have successfully implemented the projects. All 13 are up and running. Anxiety. That means you can go now and buy electric vehicles. I officiated in October the sword turning ceremony and the signing of the memorandum of agreement between AIDC Eastern Cape and Zero Carbon Charge, who are to spend 11 billion to establish additional 29 off-grid EV charging stations in our province over the next 5 years. This investment is set to create 1,170 jobs across various construction and maintenance sites, contributing directly to inclusive growth, job creation, and transition to a green economy. DIDIT and its entities remains committed to sustainable development, advancing government priorities of economic growth, poverty reduction, and lowering the cost of living for communities neighboring the site. One of our key achievements over the past year has been the establishment of a strategic global partnership with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. The partnership has secured 2 million that is approximately to 41 million ngokwemali yalapha, yi-dollar leya, to support the creation of the Smart Industrial Academy, which will be implemented upper eGqeberha by AIDC. At the heart of this initiative is the development of a robust pipeline of future skills, particularly in engineering, automation, and artificial intelligence. And we are investing in the workforce, and also we are going to invest to young people of this province. And also as the province will be hosting in August the Nakam Show, and we are thankful to the government of the Eastern Cape for supporting this initiative, 7 million. And this event will be a showcase value chain of automotive components manufacturers in the Eastern Cape. It also supports transformation, development, and profiling emerging suppliers. NAMSA has also committed to hold its 2025 South African Auto Week in the Eastern Cape province. Honorable Chair of Chairs, that will contribute also positively to tourism in the Eastern Cape by holding those two important events in the province. And AIDC is working with ECPTA. The East London IDZ efforts to grow its automotive footprint also yielded positive results in the last year. Chair, as we speak, DTIC has approved 256 million from its SEZ fund, and the East London IDZ is getting ready to break ground to build a facility for a prominent OEM of commercial vehicles, and this will strengthen the province's position as the automotive hub in Africa. Under industrialization, we are still continuing with the refurbishment at Dimbaza and also in all other industrial parks. We are completing phase 1 at Dimbaza on a value of 68 million, where 5.1 million was given to SMMEs, 21 SMMEs benefited, and 65 construction jobs have been created. Furthermore, at Dimbaza, wastewater treatment works refurbishment with an extended scope valued at 35 million will resume in this financial year. We have started with refurbishment, Transito Industrial Workshop, Evulindlela, with a total budget of 40 million and phase 1 cost 8 million. And now we are going to continue in this financial year with Wild Coast Industrial Park, as we have received the license from Department of Water and Sanitation. But we're also engaging UDTIC to get money for the top structure, as this 49.9 million, it's money for infrastructure. Through these interventions, we are committed to revitalizing industrial parks as economic catalysts that attract investment, drive industrial development, and create much needed employment opportunities across the province. Also, ECDC is actively transforming its property portfolio to unlock greater economic potential over the next 5 years. It aims to attract 500 million in private sector investment through strategic initiatives, including PPP to underutilized land development, refurbishment of existing buildings, and the disposal of non-core assets in high growth areas. Engagement with investors are already underway for commercial development and mixed use precincts in Mthatha, Butterworth, and Buffalo City. Driving industrial growth through SEZs and investment attraction, the pharmaceutical and vaccine zone at Kucha SEZ has now received full designation approval under the SEZ Act, and that 685 million development is projected to increase vaccine production from 300 million doses per annum to 1.3 billion. Kucha continues to work with DTIC to ensure that we meet all the requirements for the incorporation of the Nelson Mandela Bay Logistic Park into the Kucha SEZ. This component supplier park is key to supporting the automotive manufacturers in the province. As we are continuing with trying to get all the investors to the province, what we can say, our SEZs continue to perform exceptionally well despite challenging economic conditions. Out of the investments that we managed to get in the past year, again, Usain Mughal, an Argentinian investor, injected 480 million into the lemon processing facility Ekucha, now is busy with phase 2 up to 2025-26 financial year, where they are injecting 80 million investment. And this would see the production capacity increasing to 100,000 tons of juice concentration per annum for exporting to 50 countries. And also Mediterranean Sea Shipping Company has signed a 400 million investment to expand its existing facility in Kucha, and construction will start in this year. Also, Kucha is implementing the 1.77 billion e-water project, and also the 1 billion project that they are doing on behalf of the Nelson Mandela Metro. Since our last policy speech, the East London IDZ has attracted 4.6 billion worth of private sector investment, of which 4 billion in automotive, 368 million in energy, 192 million also in energy. That means there are 2 energy projects. And there is excellent progress being made in the entity's effort to attract investment and strengthen the localization of digital value chain in the region. Investments operational in the zone have seen a growth of 21.9% in their turnover, and in the last 12 months have contributed 3.9 billion into the province's export basket. Also in East London IDZ, they have just completed the construction of a manufacturing incubator, which will see East London IDZ identify, harness, and commercialize the innovations of young industrialists of our province. This project, if funding 86 million, between the Eastern Cape government and DTIC. The shared infrastructure incubator will assist with giving these industrialists the springboard they need to leap into new heights of industrialization. We will be launching that incubator in the first quarter of this financial year. And already there are 7 entrepreneurs that have been given an opportunity to realize their dreams and setting up manufacturing facilities and building their manufacturing capabilities. Honorable Chair of Chairs, I'm happy to announce that Kucha Maths and Science Program celebrated 12 years of success this year, having impacted over 1,000 lives, with 12 million that we have spent in the last 5 years. And also in this financial year, we have set aside 1.2 million. Some of those beneficiaries are here. Pakama ababazi beneficiaries zale program yasekucha. Nabaya. It's a maths and science program. Those who did not make it to matric maths and science, program, bapasango A, no B. And out of them, kuko ogqirha, kuko engineers, kuko ne pilot, premier, a producer in the program. And also in the next financial year, as we know that we are still continuing with EET fund, for the past 2 years, this is 130 million, and that 130 million is Bangel, Basikwazu leverage an additional 117.3 million through these funded initiatives. And in this financial year, we have 50 million that we have allocated to ET fund, and we are placing a significant emphasis on commercialization in sectors that carry the potential for the province to solidify a comparative advantage. And also from here to 2030, 5 years, ECDC will facilitate a 10 billion worth of investment outside the SEZ areas, a significant increase from 5.2 billion achieved over the past 5 years. In relation to trade promotion, a target of 1.7 million has been set. And these activities are expected to create 20,800 jobs and notable growth from the 16,525 that we have achieved in the past year. Also under investment, attraction, promotion and facilities, through consistent monitoring and support provided to the private sector, we have successfully operationalized numerous investment projects in the province. And we acknowledge all the people that are investing in the province. Abanye, they did not pledge to investment conference in the province, but people are investing in the province. Upremier Kleve Pele bevula enye imall apha eMbashe. Kukho esizayovula uspa apha eGcuwa. Kwakhona la tata uMr Tukwana Premier wakhe enye garage eMount Frenguku Jebasithethe. So we appreciate and see the work that people of this province are doing in our province.
Honorable MC, we are
Mangoma.
left with 8 minutes.
Ufie?
8.
Yo. Hey, I can say good. Under tourism, we have secured 150 million from National Treasury to develop tourism infrastructure in these nodes that you will see in the document. And also we have set aside money for marketing our province. And under creative and cultural industries, we have set aside money for the film industries, and there are also people that have benefited. Mabaphakamisa ba film industry, balapha aba benefitileyo, gobe kusenziwa igqebeka. And also under EE Oceans Economy, we are helping and working with the Tsweleni Rock Lobster Project as a OR Tambo, and we are assisting them. They have been funded by ECDC 2.8 million, where 1.7 million by sebenzise to acquire a lobster, a specialized lobster holding. And under digital economy, we have built a facility in the East London AIDZ, where we'll be formally launching it in this financial year, and we've managed to attract investors. On micro, small and medium enterprises, here we are saying MSMEs are vital to our economy, and we remain committed to strengthening their growth. In 2026-2025, we'll provide financial support to 400 SMMEs and 60 cooperatives while leveraging 120 million in investment funds to stimulate enterprises. And for Mhlaba Fund, we have 25 million in this financial year to assist cooperatives. And also, aftermarket under AITC, we have set aside 20.4 million where we will be assisting the aftermarket, aftermarket, and also we managed to get 14 million for MESITA, where we'll be training them quiz skills. And we have supported 30 students in pitching their business ideas at a national competition hosted by Young African Entrepreneurs Institute, EA, in partnership with ABSA. Our collaborative with EA through the Memorandum of Understanding ensure a coordinated approach to supporting youth entrepreneurs and new venture creation. The 3 successful young entrepreneurs who participated at the national pitching competition in Gauteng during December will each receive 100,000 rands by ABSA, by Fumani Kuti Khulument, for the implementation of this project. And in our midst, Sino CEO, Dicela Pakame, Mr. Malule Kurisun, Kumdom Chabandu Abacha, and we have partnered with them, and also next month we'll be in Walter Sisulu University, Upper Etuwa, where we'll give 200 young people bazaba be computer corner ngezinto zabo, working with YEI and ABSA. And after that, abawinileyo by 30, they will compete nationally towards the end of the financial year. And our partnership with the Disability Economic Empowerment Trust is yielding results, as well as saying people that are living with disabilities, they can be active, economically active. And we are financing that partnership with 3.5 million in this financial year. And we are setting aside money for informal traders for this financial year, a 3.5 million for 100 micro enterprises and 350 over the MTF period, and will be focusing in all districts. On spaza shops, we are working with COCTA on that, but today, the two ministers, Minister of Small Business and DTIC, they are launching the 500 million fund for spaza shops, and we are encouraging all South Africans to take over their spaza shops because government is going to support them. On the Eastern Cape Liquor Board, we are going to host this financial year, go June, a summit ye underage drinking. And after that, go landelayo, sibene walk, because we are saying together for tomorrow, adopting a collective approach to mitigate and prevent the scourge of underage drinking in our communities. And our ambassadors are here, Honorable Tuba, because they are ambassadors. And they are saying no to underage drinking. And under gambling board, we are saying as much we are noticing the resurgence of online betting and revenue collected during the last 3 months. And also saying in addition, we have so far licensed now 8 bookmakers to operate online betting during the 3rd and 4th quarter of 2024-25 as a strategy to mitigate. And also under environment, we are setting aside 16 million where we will be working with municipalities, Zikona Zipaku page. And we are saying, we have not yet, because that's we have not yet reached to 50% when it comes to women, siku 47, but kule financial year sizawufika ku 50, because we are saying, indawo yabantu abangomama ayikho kitchen. Intombazana ikhuliselwe ba iyokwenda iyozala, ikhuliselwe ba ibe inkokheli. A girl is not raised to be a wife, but to be a leader. And as the department, we've employed premier 20% of young people, and we have reached 2.1% for people living with disabilities. And in conclusion, as I conclude this policy speech, despite the challenges we faced, we have laid a solid foundation for accelerated economic development in the years ahead. The initiatives and programs I have outlined today represent our commitment to driving inclusive economic growth, creating sustainable jobs, protecting our environment, and building a capable state, from renewable energy and automotive in manufacturing to tourism and the oceans economy. We are pursuing a diversified economic development path that leverages our province's unique strength and addresses its particular challenges. Our focus on MSMEs, cooperatives, and township and rural enterprises demonstrates our determination to ensure that economic growth benefits all our citizens, particularly women, youth, and those in historically marginalized communities. Through our entities, we are providing the support needed to these enterprises to thrive and create much needed employment opportunities. Our environmental management initiatives reflect our understanding that economic development must be sustainable if it is to deliver lasting benefits. By protecting our natural resources, adapting to climate change, and pursuing green economy opportunities, we are ensuring the future generations will inherit a province of natural beauty and ecological wealth. The strengthening of state capacity and governance systems provide the solid institutional foundation needed to implement our ambitious agenda effectively and efficiently. As Eastern Cape stands at a crucial juncture in its development journey, the choices we make today will determine whether we can overcome the legacy of underdevelopment and build a prosperous future for all our citizens. I'm confident that with the plans and programs outlined in this policy speech and with the continued dedication of the officials in DDIT and our entities, we are on the right path. I want to express my sincere gratitude to the Premier and my colleagues in the Executive Council for their support, and the chairperson and members of the Portfolio Committee for their oversight and guidance. To the Director General and Head of department for their leadership, to the CEOs and boards of our public entities for their implementation of our vision, and to all officials in the department and entities for their hard work and commitment. Most importantly, I want to thank the people of the Eastern Cape whose resilience, creativity, and determination continue to inspire us in our work. It is for them that we strive to build a more inclusive, sustainable, and prosperous province. As we move forward to 2025-26 financial year and beyond, let us do so with a renewed sense of purpose and commitment in realizing our province's full potential, and together continue to build the Eastern Cape we want, and there is no better time than now for her to thrive. I wish to echo the words of the former president, uThabo Mvuyelwa-Mbeki, and say to all members in this house, to the Eastern Cape community, open quotes, we are rich in resources and rich in talent. We must harness these riches to build a prosperous continent, close quote. Honorable Chair of Chairs, I therefore table the budget vote together with strategic plans, annual performance plans, corporate plans for the Department of Economic Development, Environmental Affairs, and Tourism, and its 6 public entities. Lo mqulu ke ngowakho Faka.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable, let me see. The policies, Honorable Premier, niyaphazamisa i-housing. The policy speech and all of that document refers to the Portfolio Committee of Economic Development in terms of the Rule 160, Sub-Rule 2. Before I call on the Secretary to read the 9th order of the day, let me recognize Mr. Lucity as the MEC would be coming in. We appreciate your presence. We normally see abantu bekhomba amakhosikazi wabo pha besithi nanku unkosikazi wami. Now it's also pleasing to see amakhosikazi ekhomba abayeni nanku. Can you stand up, Mr. Lucity bakubona? Dlamini, can you stand up? Thank you. Thank you very much. Can we then call upon the Secretary to read the 9th order of the day?
Tabling of vote number 11, human settlements.
Honorable MEC? You.
Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs. Greetings to the Premier, the Speaker, all the members of the Legislature, traditional leaders, all present. Allow me to extend again my heartfelt greetings to everyone and those that are particularly connected through the various platforms and the people of the Eastern Cape. Again, it is an honor for me to be before this House to present the 25-26 budget and policy speech for the Department of Human Settlements, which is not just a fiscal exercise, but it serves as an opportunity for us as a ministry to engage meaningfully with the people of our province, a platform for us to account on the strides we have made, the challenges that we continue to face, but also a clear roadmap for delivering on the needs and the aspirations of the people of the province. This comes at a time when both the country and the world continue to grapple with persistent challenges of unemployment, inequality, and poverty, which requires a strategic and innovative solutions from those of us that are entrusted with the public mandate. And it is incumbent upon us to take a decisive step to transform the socio-economic conditions of our people through bold interventions in the human settlements development. This year is of significant importance because it marks 70 years since the adoption of the Freedom Charter in Kliptown in 1955. The Freedom Charter, along with how inclusive and participatory the process was that shaped its creation, marked a watershed moment in the struggle against apartheid colonialism. It remains a timeless blueprint for social justice and transformation. It is a guiding compass for our work, particularly in the realm of human settlements. The people of South Africa, through the Freedom Charter, declared, and I quote, "There shall be houses, security, and comfort. All people shall have the right to live where they choose, be decently housed, and to bring up their families in comfort and security. Further, slums shall be demolished, new suburbs built where all have transport, roads, lighting, playing fields, crèches, and social centers," close quote. These declarations of the Freedom Charter are not just ideals. They are a direct call to action. They define the foundation upon which we conceptualize and implement integrated and sustainable human settlements that promote social cohesion, economic opportunity, and spatial justice. Providing dignified housing for the most vulnerable remains a key priority of this government, and significant progress has been made in this regard. However, the demand for housing continues to grow due to population expansion and migration of economic opportunities. Addressing this requires a comprehensive and inclusive approach, one that extends beyond the breaking new ground housing. Our commitment is to implement diverse interventions that cater for all sectors of human settlement spectrum, ensuring a response that is transformative, inclusive, and forward-looking. As James Howard once said, quote, "Human settlements are like living organisms. They must grow and they will change. But we can decide on the nature of that growth, on the quality and the character of it, and where it ought to be," close quote. We are determined to take deliberate steps to shape the future of sustainable integrated human settlements in our province, ensuring that they are resilient and reflective of the aspirations of our people. For us, housing provision is more than just delivering shelter. It is a fundamental pillar of restoring dignity to South Africans, particularly in light of our nation's historical injustices. Housing represents security, stability, and the foundation for a dignified life. The provision of housing extends beyond the mere construction of physical structures. It involves the creation of secure, stable, and dignified living environments that have the potential to transform lives. This is particularly crucial for our child-headed households, where minors are compelled to assume responsibilities far exceeding their developmental years due to the loss of parents or guardians. For these vulnerable children, a house represents more than just a roof over their heads. It provides security, stability, and hope for the future. A secure home ensures that children are protected from harsh weather conditions, crime, and exploitation. It offers them a safe space to focus on their education, personal growth, and emotional well-being without the constant fear of displacement or homelessness. One of the 7 beneficiaries of our Gasela project, Niestataram, Miss Asi Ponyokana, who has been caring for her 2 younger siblings after losing their parents in 2021, expressed deep gratitude and joy when receiving the keys to their newly built home on 21st of November in 2024. Overwhelmed with emotion, she remarked, I quote, "Namhlanje siyavuya, siziva sonwabile kuba sinekhaya. Emva kokuba sashiywa ngabazali sayohlukana, abanye behlala kwizihlobo, kodwa namhlanje sinikwe le ndlu ukwenzele sikwazi ukuhlala sonke ekhayeni elifudumeleyo," close quote. Honorable members, this policy speech is tabled as we begin in earnest the 7th term of administration. It is therefore important for us to be coordinated within the strategic priorities for the term, which are the provisioning of housing opportunities and assistance, prioritizing the destitute vulnerable groups, military veterans, and GBVF victims, empowerment opportunities, skills development, and job creation for our MSMEs, including designated groups, enhanced partnerships and collaboration with strategic partners in mobilizing human settlements investments, unlocking of local building material manufacturers and suppliers, identifying, acquire, hold, and develop and release residential state land for sustainable human settlements development, upgrading of informal settlements, municipal support and accreditation program, accelerated registration and issuance of title deeds to homeowners, adoption of ISBT, strengthening consumer education, the improvement of the functionality of the department for improved service delivery outcomes. Honorable members, over the past 2 decades, policy shifts have evolved from simply constructing houses to developing sustainable integrated human settlements that promote social cohesion, enable creation of new towns, and unlocking economic opportunities. Affordable housing for low to middle income earners will be availed through the release of well-allocated land or state-owned properties to ensure decent and affordable housing options in declared restructuring zones to safeguard the dignity and well-being of our citizens. These efforts will help to reduce inequality and economic hardship, focusing on exploring opportunities in the oceans economy and improving the gap market. We are committed to support initiatives of repurposing state-owned properties to serve as safe houses for survivors and victims of GBVF, while extending support to our LGBTQI communities and other vulnerable groups through targeted human settlements programs. We will support the evolution and the capacity building of local manufacturers and suppliers in the building materials sector, fostering innovation, sustainable practices, and new job opportunities that drive the local economic growth. We will enhance mechanisms for community participation in the planning and decision-making processes, ensuring that the voices of our citizens guide development priorities. This inclusive approach will build trust and secure a broad-based support for our initiatives. Together, these comprehensive initiatives will not only redefine the landscape of public infrastructure and human settlements in the province, but also will pave the way for a more inclusive, resilient, and prosperous future for our communities. The department remains committed to going beyond the provisioning of housing opportunities, but to create social, spatial, and economic integration through sustainable settlements. In 24-25 financial year, the department delivered 4,893 BNG houses, with a further 3,299 housing units at various stages of construction, while we serviced 5,574 sites. These interventions are targeting the elderly, women, people with disabilities, and child-headed households, and military veterans. Honorable members, the First Home Finance is a once-off housing finance subsidy intervention which enables qualifying beneficiaries to buy or build their first homes on affordable basis. This intervention allows the department to subsidize both urban and rural housing development and provides applicants with alternative finance options. In this regard, 294 households have received their subsidies in the 24-25 financial year. Phakathi kwabo bathe baxhamla sinabo kule ndlu yowiso-mthetho yephondo namhlanje umnumzana uMandilakhe Funani nomnumzana uMava Mkhatha abasuka kwidolophu yaseMonti kumasipala oMbaxa eBuffalo City. Bobabini bathe bafumana inkxaso kule nkqubo ye-First Home Finance eziswa leli sebe. Honorable members, in 25-26 financial year, the department will deliver 4,970 BNG housing units, 260 first home finance subsidies, 77 individual subsidies, 4,345 service sites in all our regions through the Human Settlements Development Grant. Furthermore, we are committed to complete all houses of 143 approved military veterans. The department will, within its budget constraints, utilize its budget allocation to rectify the 1,158 units under the remedial works program across the province. We will continue to lobby the National Department for additional budget in addressing the shortfall in the program. The department remains committed in delivering houses to military veterans. Contractors have already been appointed for Chrisani, Joe Gabi, Alfonso, and O.R. Tambo to implement this program. In other areas, approved military veterans are accommodated through the existing projects. The remaining housing units will be completed in the 25-26 financial year, and we're deeply concerned about the recent invasion in our Chetty 491 project in the Nelson Mandela Metro. And to address this, the department is constructing 40 square meter houses for qualifying members of the self-defense units. Moreover, we are extending the support to include the dependents of military veterans, ensuring improved living conditions and promoting their socio-economic upliftment. The department utilizes the remedial work program as an instrument to redress inhumane, inhabitable, unsafe, and squalor conditions pre- and post-1994 housing stock. To this end, we will continue to use the 10% of HSDG allocation for remedial work program, which has enabled us to reach 655 beneficiaries during the 24-25 financial year. Rectification has been maximized in Sarah Batman, with 349 houses completed in the Alexandra 402 and 303 project. This has improved the living conditions of over 3,930 people across the province. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the province of the Eastern Cape is prone to national disasters, and to this end, through the District Development Model Framework, we are working with the National Department, district and local municipalities to speed up the response time in areas affected by disasters. The department, through the Emergency Housing Assistance Program, provides temporary housing for disaster victims until such time as they can be provided with permanent solutions. In the 24-25 financial year, we have provided 1,200 temporary shelters as means of bringing relief to the distressed while we seek to provide permanent housing solutions. Honorable Speaker, it gives us great pride to report to this esteemed House that significant progress has been made in unblocking historically stalled human settlements projects. Prior to the 24-25 financial year, the province had 87 blocked projects, and we are pleased to announce that the department has successfully unblocked all 87 of these projects, which will now be implemented over a multi-year period. This milestone will unlock 12,759 housing units, positively impacting the lives of over 76,000 beneficiaries. These projects have been delayed due to a number of various factors, including poor contractor performance, lack of bulk, social challenges during the implementation. Sasithembisile ukuba sizakuwenza siwuqukumbele lo msebenzi. Ngokwenene singurhulumente okhathalayo sisigcinile isithembiso sethu. Honorable members, the issuance of title deeds remain a cornerstone of our democratic government's restoration program. It is a critical tool in restoring the dignity of our people by ensuring security of tenure and empowering them with a valuable economic asset. In the 24-25 financial year, the department successfully registered 3,934 title deeds across various categories, benefiting over 23,000 people. This achievement is a testament to our commitment to securing ownership and strengthening livelihoods. To accelerate progress, we have adopted a strategy to issue title deeds at the point of beneficiary approval, where the site or land is ready for transfer. This approach is currently being piloted in Mhlaba Extension, Tacadu Mixed Development 800 and Boxwood 3,500 project, all of which are in their final planning stages while beneficiary approval is underway. The department will register an additional 1,666 title deeds in this financial year, and every house handed over in urban areas will include issuing of a title deed. And title deeds will also be issued for beneficiaries of the upgrading of informal settlements program who meet the qualifying criteria. Honorable members, the department remains steadfast in the empowerment of MSMEs with a special emphasis on our designated groups such as women and young people. Through key partnerships with NHBRC and the SIFTA, we've created 58 training empowerment opportunities for SMMEs in the 24-25 financial year. Notably, the department has exceeded its 40% target for the empowering designated groups, allocating 75% of our HSDG grant construction budget valued at 1.1 billion to women and youth contractors. This is a significant milestone in our commitment to advancing gender equality and driving inclusive economic growth. The EPWP program remains a vital tool for poverty alleviation and economic inclusion. 24-25, the department developed a new EPWP policy to improve the program's implementation and impact. And as a result, 2,281 work opportunities were created, benefiting 360 women, 343 young female, 1,000 male youth, and 1,100 older men. In alignment with the recent signing of the Public Procurement Act by the President, the department is ensuring that designated groups are prioritized in procurement processes. The department is also developing a policy on MSME development to foster a socio-economic growth, committing that 40% of both the HSDG and the Informal Settlements Upgrading Partnership Grant will benefit MSME contractors. The department will support 142 youth through the Artisans Development Program, providing them with opportunities to integrate into the economic mainstream through a partnership with the construction sector. Our exit strategy ensures that artisans and learners are either placed in the departmental projects or encouraged to start their own businesses. Additionally, we will collaborate with the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure via their ABCOG program to help them qualify as artisans. 49 technical and vocational education and training learners and 33 graduate interns will gain valuable experience through partnerships in the Office of the Premier and the construction and education sector. The department will create 5,800 job opportunities through EPWP, and prioritizing our young people and women, enhancing collaboration with the Eastern Cape Department of Public Works. Finally, the department will introduce a bursary scheme aimed at supporting disadvantaged youth, focusing on high-achieving pupils who wish to pursue qualifications in human settlements in the built environment. This initiative will provide critical developmental opportunities, preparing these young individuals for future workforce participation. Honorable members, the upgrading of informal settlements program aims to transform informal settlements through in-situ upgrading and, when necessary, relocation. This initiative provides residents with access to basic services like water, sanitation, electricity, and socio-economic amenities, improving their quality of life. This program also supports health, safety, and economic opportunities and community cohesion, while reducing environmental risk and fostering social inclusion. The department is committing for the 24-25 financial year, included the upgrading of the 160 informal settlements across various phases. Currently on phase 1, from 15 of 45 projects have been completed and will move to phase 2. 54 of the 86 projects in phase 2 have advanced to phase 3, and 29 projects in phase 3 are nearing completion, bringing communities essential infrastructure such as water, sanitation, and paved road. As a result, the department has improved the quality of life for over 26,000 households, with enhanced access to transport, emergency services, and reduced health and crime risk. The Social and Economic Facilities Program aims to develop public, social, and economic facilities in new and existing housing areas, including informal settlements upgrades. And notable progress has been registered in our Tsomo MPCC in Insigayetu local municipality, which is sitting at 55% completion expected in this financial year. Imnandi MPCC in Blue Crane municipality is sitting at 70% completion expected in 2025. In Kantolo MPCC, which is currently under completion, and the expected completion date is in the 26-27 financial year. This program helps with spatial transformation and integrated community development, providing citizens with access to social amenities, economic opportunities, and recreational facilities. Looking ahead to the 25-26 financial year, the department will continue upgrading informal settlements and complete the two MPCC at Tsomo, Nasemnandi MPCC. Additionally, the Ngolo MPCC will commence construction, and Nkantolo will be completed in 26-27. Honorable members, the department has made significant progress in the adoption of innovative, sustainable building technologies, both in urban and rural human settlements project. ISBT is a forward-thinking approach aimed at creating climate-resilient buildings and cities with the potential to eliminate informal settlements. Furthermore, the department is expanding its use of non-conventional building methods to address the housing backlog, expedite delivery, and generate economic opportunities. To demonstrate this commitment, a minimum of 2% of the housing sector development grant is allocated to projects incorporating ISBT. Honorable members, in line with the Constitution and the Housing Act, the department is mandated to support and strengthen the capacity of municipalities, and a responsibility further reinforced by the priorities of the Provincial Medium-Term Development Plan. To this end, the department, in collaboration with the Nelson Mandela University, continues to deliver competency-based training to councillors, traditional leaders, and municipal officials. This training focuses on human settlements-related disciplines and aims to enhance the ability of the municipality to plan, manage, and implement development programs effectively. A notable achievement is the accreditation of the Buffalo City Metropolitan Municipality to Level 2 status during the 24-25 financial year, a significant step in empowering municipalities to lead in delivering housing solutions. The revised framework on accreditation of municipalities further provides a structured pathway for municipalities to administer human settlements program. In 25-26 financial year, the department will prioritize the Matatela local municipality for level 1 accreditation. Additionally, 8 municipalities, your King Sabate Dalingebo, Gukhandlambe municipality, Nyande Nisenko Mzimvubu, the OR Tambo district municipality, and Sarabatman will receive pre-accreditation support. This will include capacity building interventions, followed by independent capacity assessments to determine their readiness for full accreditation. Honorable Chair of Chairs, through these efforts, we are not only complying with the legislative mandate, but also building capable developmental municipality that can deliver sustainable, inclusive human settlements across the province. Honorable members, transforming the human
Honorable
settlement
Minister.
sector.
You have 8 minutes left.
Thank you, Chair. Requires a collaboration between engaging government, the private sector, and civil society, and international organizations. The department signed an MOU with Agreement South Africa to enhance the collaboration in areas like ASBT, research, training, and project implementation. Honorable members, the department has also concluded a memorandum of understanding with various local institutions of higher learning, Nelson Mandela, Forte, Wusu, and Rhodes, with the intention to formalize the parties' relationships and coordinate their efforts to identifying and undertaking credible research projects to provide evidence-based information that will address human settlements. Honorable members, the department achieved an unqualified audit opinion for 23-24. The department successfully utilized 100% of its HSD grant and ISUPG allocation. This performance has led to an additional 50 million being allocated to complete critical projects, support implementing agents, and promote economic and social stability. This success reflects the department's commitment to its mandate and to the people of the Eastern Cape. The ongoing support of our audit and risk management structures has played a critical role in this regard. We are committed to building a more equal, prosperous, and integrated community in line with the PDP Vision 2020. And the need for human settlements has never been more urgent. In this regard, the department is prioritizing human settlements development in our prioritized public work office precincts and small town revitalization program, such as Emaklesibeni office precincts, the Beef Shop precinct, Nkanduli, Tabankulu, social housing projects, and the Eastern Seaboard development through collaboration with municipalities. We will be lifting social and rental housing interventions and the First Home Finance Instrument to the Center for the Realization of the Spatial, Social, and Economic Integration, working with other sector departments. In November 2024, the department participated in the 12th session of the World Urban Forum in Egypt under the theme quote, "It all starts at home, local actions for sustainable cities and communities." Our participation sought to explore mechanisms for addressing policy, innovation, and sustainable solutions for affordable housing. We were able to participate in meetings and in networking activities. Key to these was a bilateral we held with Singapore Housing Development Board, which served to benchmark best practices in delivering and the management of large-scale developments. This has assisted us in shaping the vision for the 7th administration in transforming the spatial landscape of the Eastern Cape. Indeed, the Eastern Cape time to thrive is now. We are therefore confident that as we start the new cycle of the financial year, we'll be able to implement the broad policy priorities of the 7th administration. As we work towards creating a more prosperous and inclusive province, the department is taking bold steps to transform our landscape. I will establish a joint human settlement, property and real estate coordinating forum to advise on public-private partnerships and innovative models, and this forum will collaborate with the national and municipal spatial planners to streamline our spatial transformation efforts and simplify these processes. Our goal is to strengthen local industries, emerging manufacturers and suppliers within government procurement. We will develop policies to ensure increased participation of historically disadvantaged businesses in the construction and the infrastructure value chain. The department is committed to unlocking the potential of black industrialists in the South African economy through targeted financial and non-financial support. And to promote this, contractors appointed by the department will be required to source at least 10% of their building material from black industrialists and suppliers. And these suppliers will be identified through databases of state organs like the Small Enterprise Development and Finance Agency and the Eastern Cape Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. In line with that commitment, our commitment to spatial redress, the department identified and acquired 7 strategically located performance has addressed key challenges in improving services delivery. A recent organizational functionality assessment evaluated how departmental support services contribute to human settlements delivery, leading to a revision of the service delivery model in 2024. The service delivery model will guide our enhancements in business processes at both the district and head office. Our department has maintained 5 consecutive years without fraud or corruption cases, demonstrating our commitment to zero tolerance policy. In April, we will launch an ethics policy to raise awareness and ensure that stakeholders adhere to ethical principles. Honorable members, assigning the Department of Human Settlements and the Department of Public Works under one executive authority presents us with a rare and unique opportunity, and by uniting our strengths, we have leverage on collective resources to deliver to the needs and the aspirations of the people of our dear province more efficiently and effectively. There will be an integrated approach, whether it is in the provisioning of housing in the context of sustainable integrated human settlements, the development of social infrastructure, or the promotion of sustainable urban environments. This assignment presents an opportunity to maximize efficiency, eliminate duplication, and ensure a more coordinated approach to service delivery. Honorable Chair of Chairs, with the limited fiscal we operate within, we have managed to deliver on our promise of transforming communities and creating sustainable human settlements for the people of the province. Where once stood mud structures, now are dignified homes. Where disaster once left scores displaced, now stands erect proper structures. I would like to take this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to the Premier of the province, his Executive Council, and for their unwavering support and guidance, which have been instrumental in enabling the Department of Human Settlements to effectively execute its mandate. Furthermore, I want to extend my sincere appreciation to the Head of Department, Mr. Edie Van, brand new from the box, the Executive Management Team, and all parties involved for their unwavering commitment, our Portfolio Committee, our commitment to the delivery of sustainable integrated human settlements. Honorable Chair of Chairs, I want to present the 2025 policy and budget speech, along with the 25-30 strategic plan, 25-26 annual performance plan, and the annual operational plan for the Department of Human Settlements. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Policy speech and all the table documents stand referred to the Portfolio Committee of Human Settlement in terms of Rule 160, Sub-Rule 2. I will therefore ask the Secretary to read the 10th order of the day.
Tabling of vote number 14, sport, recreation, arts and culture.
Thank you very much, MEC Ngongo.
Kufuneka nilungise izandla, igqirha likhuthazwa ngokuqhwatyela. Sihlalo wendlu yowiso-mthetho, amalungu ahloniphekileyo ale ndlu yowiso-mthetho, inkulu baphathiswa ingekho injalo, Sihlalo weportfolio ye-committees. Iinkokheli zamaqela ahlukeneyo ezenkolo. Indlu yeenkokheli zemveli. Manene nani manenekazi. Ndivumeleni ndicamagushe kwizihlelo zenu. Sihlalo bekekileyo. Ndima kule ndlu ndizokudaka nca ubume besebe lezemidlalo ulonwabo ubugcisa nenkcubeko. Umsebenzi esele siwenzile, imingeni esithe sajongana nayo, nezicwangciso esinazo ukubheka phambili. Malunga le ndlu ihloniphekileyo, kule minyaka mithathu izayo siza kubeka phambili abo bashishina ngobugcisa nezenkcubeko, njengoko sizama ukukhulisa uqoqosho sidala amathuba emisebenzi, kwaye siqinise ukuzazi kwethu njengabantu abazidlayo bephondo leMpuma Koloni. Phakathi kwezicwangciso zethu kukuhlaziywa komculo wesintu, hayi nje kulonwabo kodwa njengezigcinalwazi zobuthina. Ngentsebenziswano neqala lezenkcubeko nompondo zihlanjiwe ihashe elimhlophe ne-East London Guild Theatre, sisungule inkqubo yofukamo lomculo wesintu obizwa nge-incubation program ngolwasemzini. Eli phulo liza kuvumbulula izakhono netalente entsha, nokunikezela ngoqeqesho olusemgangathweni kunye nenkxaso kwiimveliso zoyilo, nokuqinisekisa ukuba izandi zethu zesintu ziyavakala kwaye zifikelela kanye kwinqanaba leminye imiculo apha ekhaya nakwihlabathi jikelele. Somlomo yiminyaka 10 oko sathi salahlekelwa ngomnye wonyana bomgquba inkunzi kumculo kaMasikhanda uSaba Mbixane. Ukuhlonipha igalelo lakhe ke elingenambaliso ekugcineni nasekukhuthazeni uMasikhanda, isebe liza kuthiya ngaye umnyhadala wephondo kaMasikhanda owenzeka minyaka le kwaBhaca. Sifuna umzila awushiyileyo usoloko unathi ngalo mnyhadala, ukhulise amagcisa omculo kaMasikhanda nesizukulwana esizayo. Sihlalo bekekileyo, for the first time in the history of this province, siza kuqaqambisa amanina kwisichathamia uhlobo lomculo ekudala unganyelwe ngamadoda. Ngentsebenziswano enkulu nemandla nosaziwayo behlabathi iqela leLady Smith's Black Mambazo, siza kusungula inkqubo yofukamo yamanina yesichathamia. Ngale nkqubo ayikho kungenelela kuphela kwezenkcubeko, kodwa ngamanyathelo okuvala izithuba, ukutshintsha indebe endala nokuvakalisa ilizwi lamanina kushishino lezobugcisa. Apha sizothetha ngee-artists ezikhasayo yonke imihla. Koko sifuna ukubona amagcisa ethu ekhula futhi sikwazi ukubona igalelo esithe sanalo silisebe ekukhuleni kwala magcisa. Sihlalo wale ndlu ndishota njengomsila ndiwupitshozise, ngoba through the Music Excellence Acceleration Program, we're able to give to 8 Eastern Cape record labels between 150,000 to 300,000 each to record new works. Iza kuphela lanto yokuba ii-artists zethu somlomo, sihlalo, zisoloko zithi ukuze zikwazi urekhoda kufuneke zibheke eRhawutini. IRhawuti ngoku silalo apha eMpuma Koloni. Sihlalo sidlali apha. We are going beyond funding projects. We are building an ecosystem that transforms creativity into opportunities. Iphelile loo nto yokuba iphondo libe liqoba umnqwazi. We are taking bold steps to position our creatives where they belong, among the best in the world. In 2025-26, we will increase the number of top provincial visual artists from 8 to 12 to exhibit at the Investec Art Fair in partnership with Limani Art Gallery. At the Decorex, in partnership with ECDC, we will expand access for home decor and visual artists, building on past success where one of our designers secured a contract to supply Mr. Price home. Can you cover the Crafters from different districts will once again showcase their work at the Rand Easter Show, following the success of last year, where 2 of our designers were commissioned by top designer David Tlale to supply his sentence store. Ukhanyisa Peter walapha eMonti noNoloyiso Ngonyama wakwaBhaca. This is not about ticking boxes. This is about turning raw talent into real business. We are moving from potential to production, from sidelines to center stage. The Creative and Cultural Industries Federation of South Africa plays a vital role as the custodian of the creative and cultural industries in ensuring collaborative efforts in advancing the sector. Additionally, the Eastern Cape Choral Music Association and the Guild of Choral and Indigenous Music Practitioners, Eastern Cape, continue to drive the growth of choral music. Their efforts have been instrumental in elevating the OR Tambo Choral Music Festival to a higher level, expanding its reach and impact. Slalo, I am pleased to announce that the department's partnership with CATSITA is yielding positive results. A significant development in this collaboration is the formal accreditation of one of the province's arts institutions in the Mandela Bay Theatre Complex, paving the way for structured training in dance and theatre. Isebe liza kuqhubeka lixhesha iminyhadala ekhokelwa ngabantu basekuhlaleni. Ngeli xesha siza kutyala imali ezizigidi ezithathu zerandi kweminye iminyhadala ephondo ephambili. Oku kusekwe kwifuthe lale minyhadala elibonakalayo. Le minyhadala yomibhiyozo nje kuphela kodwa zinjini zokukhula amaqonga ukuveza italente esakhulayo nezixhobo zokubeka endaweni iMpuma Koloni njengendawo ubani anokuyikhetha ukuze aye kuyo xa efuna impolo kwezenkcubeko. Umnyhadala obugcisa kazwelonke obanjelwa eMakhanda ayingomnyhadala nje omkhulu nosele unexesha elide uqhuba apha kweli lizwe lethu, kodwa yimbombo yenkcubeko noqoqosho eMpuma Koloni. Itsala amawakawaka abatyeleli kwaye ifaka izigidi kwingxowa yezokhenketho, kwaye ikwaliqonga elisezingeni eliphezulu kumagcisa ethu kuba nawo aqaqambe kwilizwe lonke nehlabathi. As such, we are injecting 13.368 million rand into the festival, a strategic investment to ensure that Eastern Cape creatives are not just part of the audience, but at the center of the experience. The National Arts Festival is more than a celebration of the arts. It is a catalyst for job creation, a launchpad for new voices, and a living testament to the power of culture to transform lives and economies. Slalo. Ngengxowa mali ye-ECPEC eyaziwa njengesiqaqambisi bugcisa, isebe liza kuqhubeka nokuxhasa amagcisa ethu asakhasayo nahlelelekileyo. Singqale kakhulu kumanina, ulutsha nabo bakhubazekileyo. Kangangokuba isixamali esilishumi lezigidi zerandi sibekelwe bucala ukuxhasa uluntu nemibutho esebenza kwezobugcisa. Oku kuquka uyilo lwezandla ezomculo, imifanekiso bhanyabhanya, uyilo nemiboniso. Konke oku kuyimigudu yokulwa intswelangqesho, ukukhuthaza intsebenziswano nokwakha imithombo engatshitshiyo yexesha elide kwaba bazuza inkxaso. Ukongeza koku, izigidi ezine zerandi zibekelwe bucala zilungiselelwe icandelo labayili bezandla, abayili bokubonwayo nokuqingqiweyo. Oku kuza kunceda ukubeka kudidi oluphezulu iimveliso, ukulandelwa kwemigaqo nokuphuhliswa kwezakhono. Kuthi kungoku sibe sidibanisa abayili bethu kwiimarike ezisemgangathweni. Olu tyalo-mali lujonge ukubeka iimveliso zethu kwizinga lehlabathi kwangaxeshanye siqhuba ukusetyenziswa kweemveliso ezenziwe eMpuma Koloni. Our goal is clear. It is to build creative enterprises that not only survive but thrive long after the funding ends. Members of this august house, we are strengthening the film value chain and positioning the Eastern Cape as a leading film destination. As Londo, through ECPEC, we have allocated 30 million rands over the next 3 years to support production, skills development, short films, and documentaries, among others, to attract local and international investments. The Eastern Cape Heritage Route represents more than just a collection of historical sites. It is a living testament to our rich and diverse cultural heritage, a journey through the landscapes where significant moments in our history are unfolded. Isebe liza kuqhubeka likhokela imibhiyozo neenkqubo zezikhumbuzo ephondweni, kanye xa sibhiyozela inyanga yamagugu namafa, Siza kugxila kwisikhumbuzo seminyaka elikhulu elinamashumi amahlanu yokuzalwa kukatata u-SEK Mqhayi, enye yeembongi ezabalaselayo zoMzantsi Afrika, neyazalelwa eNtabozuko kumasipala uMbaxa iBuffalo City. Mqhayi's poetry, deeply embedded in the soul of the Eastern Cape, captured the essence of our cultural heritage and the struggles for dignity, making him a key figure in our literary tradition and history. I tabled this policy speech, Slalo, just 2 days before our nation observes 32 years since the assassination of one of our Africa's greatest liberation heroes, Utata Chris Hani. This year, for the first time, the national commemoration will take place in our province at Mhlaba, Sabalele, his birthplace. This is not only a moment of pride for the Eastern Cape, but also a profound reminder of the role our province continues to play in shaping the democratic history and values of our country. The hosting of this important commemoration is as a result of a collaborative effort with the Hani family, and we extend our heartfelt appreciation to them for their continued commitment to preserving his legacy. The month April, Slalo, holds deep political and historical significance for our country. It is a month of remembrance and celebration, from honoring the life of Chris Hani to marking Freedom Day on the 27th of April, a day that ushered in a new democratic era. This year's Freedom Day takes on added significance as we commemorate the centenary of the birth of Alfred Baphethu Xolonzo, a distinguished leader of our liberation struggle and the first Minister of Foreign Affairs in a democratic South Africa, who was born in Matatiele in the present day that is called Alfred Nzo district. He remains a symbol of principled leadership and international solidarity. In recognition of this historic milestone, the provincial commemoration of Freedom Day will be held in the Alfred Nzo district, a fitting tribute to his life, legacy, and the continued contribution of the region to our national story. Slalo, as part of programs around the Day of Reconciliation, we will also be hosting a provincial dialogue focused on all massacres that took place in the Eastern Cape. The dialogue will provide a platform for families and communities affected by these tragedies to share their experiences, encourage a collective effort towards healing and reconciliation. Importantly, we want to ensure that when we commemorate these days, we are not only focused on families, but are able to benefit the broader communities. Yolonto sathi sathatha isigqibo sokuba qho kubanjwa isikhumbuzo kwingingqi ethile, u-30% waloo mali uya kwiinkqubo zokuphuhlisa zivelise amathuba omsebenzi kwingingqi leyo. Iphelile ke loo nto yokuba kuyothethwa emaholweni kuphunywe kuhanjwe. Ngoku ingingqi nengingqi esiphuma kuyo siza kushiya amagaqa e-projects eziza kuvelisa amathuba omsebenzi ziphuhlise nezo ngingqi. Slalo will always honor the 45th anniversary of the passing of Joe Nzingo Gqabi, a freedom fighter and a symbol of resistance against apartheid. He was born in Maletswai, Joe Gqabi district. Gqabi's sacrifice for the cause of human rights continues to inspire, and this commemoration will reaffirm our commitment to justice and equality for all. Le mibhiyozo ayigcini nje iinkumbulo zamaqhawe kunye nemisitho yethu, koko ichaza imbali negalelo elathi ladlalwa liphondo leMpuma Koloni kumlo wenkululeko kweli lizwe. The repatriation and reburial of our fallen heroes and heroines is crucial in our journey towards healing and closure, not only for the families of the victims, but for the entire province. Kulo nyaka uphelileyo nje uwodwa sibuyise amathambo amagqala alithoba eLusaka naseZimbabwe. Lo msebenzi wokubuyiselwa kwamathambo azokungcwatywa ekhaya awujolisanga nje ekubuyiseni lamathambo, koko ngumsebenzi wokunika isidima nembeko kula maqhawe lo gama sibopha ngokwasemphefumlweni iintsapho ezibandakanyekayo. Honorable Chair, the department, through the Eastern Cape Provincial Geographical Place Names Committee, is working to create a platform for communities to replace offensive and unwanted place names with those that reflect the values of a rainbow nation. Mandiyigxininisise Slalo, into yokokuba asitshintshi magama silisebe, koko ngabantu ngokwabo abathi babhalele isebe xa befuna kutshintshwa amagama eendawo zabo. The renaming initiative is not just about changing labels, it's about acknowledging the pain of the past while working towards a future that embraces our shared national identity. On the other hand, the department, through the Eastern Cape Provincial Heritage Resources Authority, will facilitate construction of heritage assets that profile and promote local icons such as Tata Umteteleli Ngumbela, who was a community builder, Victoria Mxenge, the anti-apartheid activist, King Palo, to mention the few. Slalo, we are providing funding to 20 museums to enhance their operational efficiency and enable them to better serve their communities, particularly the learners. And such digitization is at the center of these efforts, allowing museums to preserve valuable heritage materials while also making them more accessible to the public and educational institutions. The department's support will empower museums to evolve and meet the needs of modern-day learners while expanding access to South Africa's rich cultural heritage. Honorable Chair, I am happy to report that in the last financial year, we have successfully published 22 manuscripts for our writers across the Eastern Cape. I am particularly excited that we also published for the legendary Professor Tata Peter Mtuze his last book titled Iziduko Nezinqulo zesiXhosa. This is a legend we celebrated at the Eastern Cape Provincial Book Fair. His mural, which is embedded at the UNESCO City of Literature at Buffalo City, Kaunyuka Pange, Fleet Street, will forever be a reminder that the Eastern Cape is indeed a home of legends, ikhaya lababhali. Honorable Chair, we also equipped our writers with laptops to enable them to continue with their craft, a first in the history of the department. I can assure you, Honorable Chair, that it is definitely not the last. Ngoku qho ngonyaka ababhali baza kufumana ii-laptops babhale. I must extend a word of gratitude to the fiber processing manufacturing sector and Metropolitan for their contribution that made it possible for us to publish these manuscripts and hand over high-performance laptops. Members of this august house, kuyabonakala ukuba sonke sinomdla ukubona ababhali bephumelela sidibene kunye ne-private sector. Ngoba sithetha nje, Standard Bank has also handed over a check to the department as a direct purchase of the published books to our writers. I want to assure this house that aziphindanga zithengwe kubabhali bodwa ezi ncwadi. Kulo nyaka mali sifuna ukuqinisekisa ukuba zifumaneka kuzo zonke iivenkile zeencwadi kweli phondo noMzantsi Afrika uphela. Asizangodlala apha, bazawuzipublisha zithengwe. Honorable Chair, we recently hosted a successful Eastern Cape Provincial Book Fair that saw our budding writers interacting with renowned authors, endingabalula kuzo Professor Zakes Mda, Professor Peter Mtuze, no-Oyama Mabandla phakathi kwabanye. And taking from this, we intend on taking the platform to even greater heights. This as we are positioning the Eastern Cape as an important literary destination in our country. We are not going to be bystanders when, in fact, great writers this country has ever seen come from this province. Ononi Jabavu, Osindiswa Magona, Phyllis Ntantala, ndingabala kuwo Sihlalo. Asizodinwa ke Sihlalo kukuyithetha into yokuba promoting multilingualism with a special focus on indigenous languages is not just about language, but it speaks to people's identities. And therefore, it is important that all departments must promote multilingualism through the translation of official documents and the signage we see when we walk into government departments. Honorable Chair, this year marks 2 years since the South African Sign Language was officially recognized as one of the official languages in the country. This marked a significant step towards creating an inclusive society, definitely a win for our democracy and a win for deaf people in the country. As such, on the 19th of July, we will be commemorating this day to shine the spotlight on work that has been done, challenges that deaf people face, but importantly, we will be shining the spotlight on the work they are doing in the small container abasebenzela kuyo pha eMdantsane bethunga. Through ACPEC, we will be hosting workshops aimed at equipping them with the necessary skills to ensure that umsebenzi wabo awupheleli eMdantsane, but we create platforms for them to showcase and sell their products. This is over and above the work we did in the last financial year, where we successfully trained frontline workers that included the South African Police Service, healthcare workers, and social workers on the basics of sign language. This work continues. Siza kubeqeqesha side siqinisekise ukuba akukho sithulu siza kujikwa kumasebe karhulumente kuba kungekho toliki. Lo msebenzi siwenza ngokubambisana ke kakuhle no-Deaf SA. Honorable Chair, our department continues to prioritize nation building and social integration through the hosting of social cohesion dialogues. These dialogues are essential platforms for diverse communities to engage in open, constructive conversations around identity, transformation, and unity. One of the most impactful of these was the recent provincial social cohesion dialogue on sport transformation, which was addressed by the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Paul Mashatile. The dialogue brought together some of the most respected voices in South African sport, including Banyana Banyana head coach Mamou Desrealis, Olympian and Paralympian Ms. Natalie Dutoit, and the first black manager of Springboks, Mr. Zolayeye, among others. Together, they helped us assess transformation progress within sport and reflect on how sport can be used more effectively as a vehicle for unity, inclusion, and empowerment. These conversations are not events. They are catalysts for policy shifts, mindset change, and long-term social impact. Honorable Chair, we continue to build state-of-the-art libraries so as to ensure we improve access to information and promote a culture of reading from an early age. As
Honorable
such, we will be...
You have 7 minutes left.
Yo. As such, we will be constructing 3 libraries and refurbishing 4 other libraries across the province. At the top of our agenda is to digitize access by equipping all our libraries with internet connection and modern equipment. Amathala ethu encwadi ayizondawo nje zencwadi koko ngumthombo wokuncedisa ulutsha kwiindawo ezikuzo, whether it's for those wanting to apply for jobs, do research, or even compile their CVs. We are refocusing them to be one-stop centers that can answer to community needs. The department is accelerating the digitization of records across its 3 provincial repositories to improve access and ensure long-term preservation. As part of efforts to repatriate records from the Western Cape, priority is being given to digitizing those most frequently requested by communities. Honorable Chair, the department's sport development approach is rooted in a comprehensive developmental model that invests across all levels of the system, beginning with early childhood physical education in schools, progressing through mass participation and advancing to club elite and elite athlete development. School sport is the cornerstone of long-term sport development in the Eastern Cape, and the department is taking deliberate steps to revive and prioritize school sport in partnership with the Department of Education. As such, a joint implementation plan is in place to ensure clear roles between the 2 departments. Sitsho sibekele bucala imali engange 31 million rand to drive participation, with an additional 6.9 million rands dedicated to equipment and attire for schools. Educators and volunteers will also be trained to strengthen coaching, officiating, and administration. We are expanding reach through partnerships with NGOs, private sector entities. Somlomo, Slalo bekekileyo, I am excited to announce that engagements with one of the top professional clubs in the country, Mamelodi Sundowns, are at an advanced stage. We want to pilot a program for under 11 and under 13 school soccer leagues. This collaboration will offer advanced coaching for school coaches and create a talent pipeline for young players to be scouted for the Sundowns Academy. The Eastern Cape Sport Confederation will be allocated a budget of 4.9 million rands for its administration and programs supporting the development of sport in the province. An amount of 4.8 million rand has also been set aside to support the hosting of major sport events targeting national and international boxing title fights, hosting football, rugby, and horse racing. Slalo, in the past year alone, we successfully hosted international fixtures featuring the Proteas and Bafana Bafana, SA Rugby, and COSAFA. These events not only boost local economies, but also place the Eastern Cape family on the national and international sporting map. We are pleased to announce that the SA Rugby has confirmed that the Springboks will play a test match against Italy at the iconic Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium on the 12th of July, 2025. This is a significant win for the province and a testament to our growing stature in the sport tourism space. Furthermore, we are in advanced negotiations with SA Rugby to bring the Sanza Under-20 Rugby Championships featuring South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and Argentina to the Eastern Cape. Should this be finalized, it will mark yet another milestone in our efforts to attract international sporting events and grow the sport economy in our province. Honorable Chair, the Sport and Recreation Achievers Awards will, for the first time in the history of the province, be held in the OR Tambo district. This initiative does not only provide rural municipalities with opportunity to host a flagship event, but also forms part of a broader strategy to reposition sport as a catalyst for economic development across the province. Slalo, the recent launch of the Learn to Swim program at the state-of-the-art Ntabankulu Multipurpose Center in the Alfred Nzo district marks a bold step in our mission to transform sport development in the Eastern Cape. Through this initiative, we are not only prioritizing water safety and ensuring that children in rural and township communities acquire basic swimming skills, but we are also dismantling barriers that have historically excluded Black communities from sports like swimming. In this financial year, the program will be intensified and expanded with a strong rollout in the Alfred Nzo and OR Tambo districts. More importantly, we are integrating Learn to Swim across our different programs to nurture a pipeline of young swimmers from grassroots to elite levels. This is part of our broader vision to reshape the face of the Olympics, to ensure that athletes who represent South Africa reflect the true diversity of our nation by developing talent in historically marginalized areas. The Eastern Cape is committed to becoming a breeding ground for Olympic excellence and to making the global sporting stage more inclusive. The department remains intentional in addressing historic imbalances in sport by placing women's sport development at the forefront of its priorities. We are committed to supporting women in sport
Honorable
across
MC,
various codes,
you are left with 1 minute.
ensuring greater access, recognition, and opportunities from grassroots. Somlomo ndima apha ndinelunda lokuba koomanejala abaphezulu esebeni u-57% wabo ngoomama siphethe women on top. Salo, I present to this House and to the entire Eastern Cape community our 2025-2030 strategic plans, 2025-26 annual performance plans, 2025-26 operational plans, and budget summary for both the department and Eastern Cape Provincial Arts Culture Council. Diabulela, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable. Let me see the report. The report refers to the Portfolio Committee of Sport, Art and Culture. The House will adjourn until Wednesday, the 9th of April 2025 at 14:15 for the question for oral reply and for the tabling of the remainder of the policy speeches. The House is adjourned. Thank you.